Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility with Mr. Butch Jones in the co-captain's chair. What's happening, my friend? How are you?
Bourboning time.
Oh, that's right. It's after hours, so it's bourboning time, right? So we kind of give it away when we record these things, right? Because if Butch has some bourbon in his hand, that means we're talking after dinner, after hours, after work, that sort of thing. So we're here to talk about the release I've been talking about all week and promoting all week. This little guy here. All right. It looks a little fatter than we remember it. He's got one over there too.
Got the original with me here.
Got the original?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Strangers in the Night by UFO. One of the greatest live albums of all time, if not the greatest. It actually won our classic live album war a year or so ago. We did that here on the channel as voted by all you, the viewers. And yeah, I mean, Butch and I were talking before we went live. I can't remember the last time I listened to like the same set of songs over and over and over again for like a couple weeks in a row. But yet with this, you pretty much can do that, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's fun. I mean, like I told you a few weeks ago, I just think it's comically fun to listen to, so you got the two original discs, which they actually do that way. And I love that they did it that way. They instead of you having just one CD with it all on, just the whole running time, they give you two separate CDs, just like the vinyl. So you have like a side one and side two, disc one, disc two, and it's broken down just like the actual vinyl. That's great. But it's been so much fun just going through the other 6 discs shows and trying to figure out what song was on, okay, oh, that's that take from that show. That's what made it on there. And I actually just a little while ago, I found, not a mistake, but I always have my music on shuffle, and I'm a Loser came up. So I'll get back to that later. I found something. I wonder how many other guys out there, guys and gals, UFO fans, that I actually found this too. I found a little, I think a little studio magic happened with Ron Neverson. So I'll get back to that.
Which is very possible. Yeah. And, just to reiterate what Butch just said, here you have all these shows recorded like all within a short time of each other. So if you look at the, the back, we're looking at, so just give everybody the rundown here. So we've got Strangers in the Night, the original LP, all right, and that's what we just showed here. Well, this is on CD, obviously, but this is how the original LP was set up. So you get that. So you get another version of that, and then you get on CD3. You've got the International Amphitheater, Chicago, Illinois, October 13th, 1978. You've got on CD4 the Kenosha Ice Arena, Wisconsin, October 14th, 1978. You've got CD5, the Tomorrow Club, Youngstown, Ohio, October 15th, 1978. CD6, the Agora Theater in Cleveland, Ohio, the 16th. CD7, the Agora Ballroom from Columbus, October 17th. And then finally, you've got on CD8, the Louisville Gardens, Kentucky, October 18th. So that's that whole week, which for those of you who have been listening to Strangers in the Night for all these decades, basically what Neverson and the group did is they took what they felt, obviously Michael kind of disagrees with that, but they took what they felt were the best performances from all the most of the songs in the set list, and they put out a live album. So, and I'm sure Butch has been doing this since we got these. I've been listening to all of these over and over and over again, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the version of, I'm a Loser that was on Strangers. And you can really, if you know this album well, and I mean, how many of us do, these songs on this album really well.
Inside and out.
Inside and out. Yeah. And is it fair to say that they chose the best version of all these songs for that live album? Perhaps.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, right? Because we have such a history with them.
That's the thing. I mean, like I said, I've got the vinyl here. So this, I just love it. And actually, even to backtrack for a second, I called my mom earlier, telling her that we were doing this, and hopefully I got it all out. I got all misty thinking about this. I called to tell my mom thank you. And I've told her this many, many times, and I'll make this really short because I've told this story before, and I know you've heard it before too. In 1979, my mom took me to Corvette's department store in New York City and got me, for my birthday in May, she got me Strangers in the Night and Van Halen 2. Van Halen 2 is now my favorite album of all time. It has been probably since, a month after May of 79. But living with this album, I told my mom, there hasn't been a month since May of 79 that I haven't listened to at least a song from both of these albums, from this and Van Halen 2. So you've got, like I said before, it's beyond growing accustomed to. It's ingrained in you. I've been listening to this for, a very long time at this point now, and it's hard it's not hard. I mean, it's fascinating and wonderful to hear the different versions of the same songs. And like you just pointed out, and I actually didn't really realize it. Maybe I was just, taken back by just getting it, that I didn't really realize that they're all in a row. It's not even a day off.
Yeah.
It's consecutive. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18th. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But when you hear the same song, especially like with Schenker, hearing a different, not improvised, but sort of improvised solo, a different take on the same solo that I hear in my head as he's playing it on a different version, because I'm so used to hearing the solo and hearing it. It's like, oh, okay, he went someplace different. That's cool.
Yeah. Where he played that a little more bluesy, right? Or that's not the way Phil sang that verse on the version I know, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing how well we know that original album, because I instantly could tell any of the songs on any of these, these gigs here and say, yep, that's the one that was on the original LP. Then it's like that other version of it is really good, but that's not the one that was on the live album.
Right.
Yeah, and what's really kind of wild to hear, I guess for us longtime fans, is like to hear those couple tunes that were never included on Strangers in the Night, like On With the Action and Pack It Up and Go, which they didn't play every single night, right? I mean, that's...
How do you not put Pack It Up and Go on this? But, like you said, now hearing it live, for the first time, it would be weird because it doesn't go with what I'm used to hearing.
Right.
So
I will arguably say I'm a huge fan of Pack It Up and Go. It's one of my favorite UFO songs of all time.
Absolutely.
I will say I don't think they nailed it on any of these nights.
Okay.
And maybe that's the reason why they didn't include it.
Yeah, that would make sense, because like you said, it's on every disc. It's on all 6.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but you didn't put it on Strangers? That's odd. And
I mean, maybe it was a time thing, right? Because you can only put so much on
then.
But I just know, like, and again, maybe because I don't have a lot of time with it yet, but I just know that like that studio version is amazing. And I'm listening to these live versions over and over again. I'm like, oh, it's good. But, Schenker like throws in all these fills and solos throughout the studio version, which he skips a lot of them on these live versions. So maybe that's because I think Phil sings it great on all the versions. But, and, On With the Action is kind of similar. I think On With the Action is a really different kind of song than everything else that's in the original set list. It's kind of got that like kind of plodding, doomy, bluesy thing going on. And maybe that just kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the songs. But it's still cool hearing it though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just like you said. This is to me a monumental record, and that's what I was getting at before with my calling my mom and telling her thank you about this record. It's like I get emotional. I was crying, explaining to my mother the thank you for getting me that, and I had no idea at 12 that that album and Van Halen were going to completely obliterate my life when I got home and listened to them for the first time. And that's exactly what happened. And it makes me so happy emotionally. It's not a sad cry. It's an absolute happy thing. Just like I was so fortunate to get this and not have any idea, what I was getting into. And then all these years later, feel exactly the same as I did when I was 12. And I was telling my mom, the song Lights Out, the first time I played Lights Out 11 times in a row as a 12-year-old kid. I can remember distinctly being in my friend's bedroom as we're listening to it on vinyl, on that right there, and getting up and going across the room to have to stop it and go back and listen to the two solos that Schenker does and are just immaculate. So it's like you said, just spending the time with it all these years is just completely emotional. It's just a perfect record, even if there is studio magic in it, I don't give a shit. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really good. And you listen to all of these performances here across all these days, and it's like, you know what? I don't know that they did that much studio touch-ups in the end, because I mean, all these, they all kind of sound pretty similar. Yeah, there's some warts here and there, but that's what makes it pretty magical, right? I think for the most part, again, and we probably get to spend more time with it because we both just got this not that long ago. But Phil's vocals in a couple spots sound a little rough on a couple of the shows. Schenker plays a couple bum notes here and there, but for the most part, I mean, this is live concert stuff, right? It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish they had kept some of Phil's banter, and some of it he's trying to tell jokes, which I'm glad they didn't put that in. But there's some banter stuff that I wish that they could have kept in. But I'm sure, like you had already mentioned, in 1979 vinyl, you were restricted to how much time you could get in. So I'm sure it's like, okay, we got to lose this, we got to lose that.
Yeah.
But it's overall it's fabulous. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a must own for anybody that's a UFO fan. And if you love Strangers, on its own, you have to have it.
And some of the songs across all the performances are like really, really good.
Yes.
Like I think Lights Out, I think every version on every one of these discs. Love to Love is great across the board. For me, so if I was to advise these guys on this tour to revise this set list a little bit, really the only song I would take out.
Wait. Let me. I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, so let's see if we're the same, because I have one for sure.
I would take Cherry out.
Thank you. It does not fit at all.
No.
I don't like the song to start with, and it doesn't fit with the pacing of the show. Yeah, that's got to go.
Yeah, it's like the third song on it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's show everybody what this looks like. So here you get all the discs come in these little cardboard thingamajiggies. You get which you might, on first look, you might be like, well, where's the damn booklet? Well, it's housed in this little. I was always like, you gotta have a booklet, right? So and it's pretty cool. It's not the biggest thing out there, but got a couple pictures, a little commentary from the guys in the band and whatnot. Although there is one mistake here. So they've got this one picture here, this one live photograph, and it's not the Schenker version of the band. It's Tonka, and which is probably after Schenker left, so that probably shouldn't have been in there. But I'll forgive them for that. And some other little photographs and things like that. It's pretty cool. You get Michael talking a lot about how, he was at odds with Nevison and didn't like a lot of the performances, and about how he had all this bad stage fright, and that's why he was drinking so much, and blah, blah, blah. I love Michael, but man, he's just complaining about too many things these days.
What happens when he's sober?
I guess, right? I guess. He's a perfectionist. Most of us listen to these, his guitar solos and all the riffs on these, and it's like, wow, what's he complaining about? But and then here you've got each individual performance.
I love the way that they did it, like the actual bots for the actual audio of the 2-inch tape. I love that. That's fantastic.
And they're all double
perfect.
Yeah, it's really nice, and they're all double packed here. So you've got each one kind of follows the same format. Disc is in here, so it's pretty cool. It's a nice little set. I don't know what more else you could want, right?
And I'll tell you that to me, the greatest part is the actual, like I said before, the actual Strangers version that we all know is made just like my old vinyl. They made the gatefold, so you got the little Mikey there, and you got Big Mikey here. So I love how they did exactly the same thing. That as a collector and fan of this record so much, that was like, oh no, that's awesome.
Yep.
So they nailed it. Nailed it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So it's well worth getting, I think.
Yes.
It's funny because I say well worth getting, but a lot of people have had trouble getting this, and that was the issue for a little bit. when was this originally released? Was it in October?
October. Yeah.
So October. So I was all set to get one, and then all of a sudden nobody had them in stock, and it was like this long lead time. So I was like, all right, I'll wait a little bit until people get. I didn't put any pre-orders in or anything like that. And then by early November, all of a sudden it was like $90.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not paying $90 for it.
Nope.
And then I think you said you got it like right around Christmas time, right? Or was it a little bit after?
A little bit after.
Yeah.
Well,
and I kind of waited till I saw that a bunch of places had them, and I went, shopping, and I saw the price, came way down to what it normally was. But and I got it fairly quickly after I ordered. But now, like, people are saying nobody has them again. So I don't know what the run they did, how many copies they printed of this, or I don't know.
I'm assuming it has to be that they were not expecting this to sell as well as it did. Because like you said, it was gone, and you had $90, $100 for it and everything. And yeah, it came back down to like $45, the regular price. Yeah. And but I love it. I think it's great that, I'm sorry that people that couldn't get it or haven't gotten it yet haven't gotten it. But just a testament to how great this record is that it's sold out and nobody had it, and everyone's waiting for it now. So that's huge. I think that says a lot.
Well, I mean, they're probably thinking, well, it's probably got a small audience for this because everybody probably has the original live album. Maybe they got the remaster, the deluxe that came out with a couple extra tracks. Maybe nobody's that interested in this, and they're probably thinking, are people going to want to hear 8 discs of basically the same song over and over again? And I'm like, yeah, we are, right?
Exactly. Same thing with the Lizzie box set. The Lizzie box set that came out, that's also phenomenal. I don't think people were expecting that to sell as well as it did, and that was the same idea. That was sold out. I mean, that was more money, but you got more in it. But it was pretty much instantly sold out as well. So
yeah. Well, it's something they may want to consider doing for a lot of these like classic live albums from this time period.
Absolutely.
And like they did something similar with Deep Purple's Made in Japan a bunch of years ago. They released all 3 of the Japan concerts in like a deluxe set, but they sold. I mean, they did not make many of them, and they sold out instantly. And now, I mean, good luck finding a copy anywhere. So, and it was not quite the cool set like this is. I mean, this is pretty spectacular.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely cool. So if you guys can find one and you're a fan of the original double live album, you got to have it.
Gotta have it. So let me go back and finish up my tease that I was talking about. The mistake, that's not really a mistake, it's a difference. So this is where I think the studio magic came in. And you mentioned the song, I mentioned the song earlier too. You mentioned just a few minutes ago, the song I'm a Loser, which I didn't love as a kid, and now it's one of my favorite songs on the record. The version that is on the real Strangers is not on the 6 discs. So really? Yes, because like I said, it came up on shuffle before from one of those 6 discs, ironically, and it started again. Anytime I hear that any songs that's on Strangers, I instantly hear it in my head how it's supposed to go. And it starts, Phil's saying whatever, and then it starts with that intro, and I'm waiting for the Shanker slide thing to come in, and it never comes. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't catch that. So I literally went back to all 6 discs and listened to I'm a Loser, and it's not there. And then I listened to, the real story. I'm like, well, maybe I am wrong. And I went back, and no, it was exactly how I remember. It starts and he comes in with that slide, and it's not there. So I wonder if he went in studio and added that slide.
That could be, because I mean, I thought that the Youngstown version was the one from the album. So I was listening to that in the car earlier today, and that's the one I thought was it, but I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to go back and listen now.
And you brought up a point.
The rest of it sounded the same.
That's what I was just gonna say. Honestly, all I was listening for was the slide in the beginning. So when we're done, actually, I'm gonna go back and listen. You're right. It could be that take. They just dubbed in the slide, because that's all I was listening for, and I didn't hear it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So you could be right. It's
amazing how little things like that, to the trained ear that knows these albums so well, we know when certain things come in.
Absolutely.
I didn't expect to have that kind of like connection with it. That's like I'm listening to all these and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that wasn't on the original album. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that was not on the original album. It's good though. Oh yeah, that was on the original album. It's like, you know, it's. I mean, and we're talking, you know, multiple shows here. It's like it's
Yeah.
not like we're talking about 2 hours worth of music here. This is, you know, many hours of listening. So it's
Absolutely.
great. So
Yeah, it's without a doubt a must own.
Yep.
Absolutely. You guys get this. If you don't already have it, you will absolutely love it, and you'll see why we're going on and on about this. It's brilliant.
As I've said before, one of the greatest albums of all time just got better.
Yes, sir.
There you have it, everybody. Go out and get it if you haven't. If you're a fan, you need it. And while you're doing that, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Stay tuned for Monday night. Butch and I, with the rest of the Hudson Valley Squares, we've got another live show for you, all dedicated to you guys. So
Yes.
it's a all question and answer show. So we'll just be sitting down with you all for 90 minutes. And
I'll be drinking. That could be dangerous. Ask me some questions about an hour into it. It could be fun.
I mean, I might even have to drink during Monday's show because it's not like we have to prepare anything, right? This is just basically me going through the comments with you guys. So that'll be kind of fun. So and hopefully we should not have any technical difficulties this time. Although you know what? Most people thought that was like the funniest shit they ever saw.
Exactly.
Me just like freaking out, clueless, looking everywhere, and you guys just sitting there like, what is going on? Listening to the loop and the feedback.
Listening to the delay.
Oh boy, fun stuff.
Everybody, thanks for watching though. We really appreciate it. We're having a lot of fun doing it. We're looking forward to doing the show. So thanks a lot.
Yep, absolutely. So what else? Let's see. Coming up tomorrow. Actually got something coming up in a little while for me. I said I wasn't going to do it last year, but I've decided because everybody's asking, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a rant on the announcement of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction list.
I haven't even seen who was on it, so I'll have to look when we're done. I don't even know who's on it. I know Thin Lizzy.
One good band is on it, which is good. Our band from England, Iron Maiden, which is about time.
Absolutely.
Right. So,
absolutely. Interesting. I'll be watching that one.
Yeah. So that's coming up in a little while. Tomorrow we've got Viewer Appreciation Day with Jason Morris, one of our longtime viewers. He and I are going to rank the catalog of German power metal veterans. Ed Guy. We've got another edition with the Monsters Den with Chris Allo and Rich Catino. Friday morning, Martin Popoff back on the show for part 2 of our Perfect Album series. Over the weekend, ranking the albums of Yngwie Malmsteen. Lynn Versace's back on the show with me doing another cool program. Lots of stuff coming. Before you know it, it'll be Monday and we'll all be together. So we'll see everybody there. And for Butch Jones, I am Pete Pardo. Good night, everybody.